I'm gonna maybe make a brief video. I just got a notification that I had a package at the place where I get my mail delivered, and not like a humble brag or anything, because I have ordered a few things and some of them are records. And there's the cat who needs to go outside, of course. But once I start talking and making a video, he'll want to come back in, because that's just the way he is. But I suddenly remembered I had 3 different records ordered, like pre-ordered. 2 of them are new things, and one of them is a reissue. And let's see if I could set this phone somewhere. And as I predicted, because I'm now sitting down comfortably and have the camera set up where it works, the cat wants to come in, so we'll just ignore him. But yeah, so I got this package. It's gonna be like an unboxing video. Man, I hate those. And it's just from some generic shipper. So it's gonna be one of 3 records I've been anticipating getting, and I'm kind of excited. So I thought I'd turn it into a surprise video. And maybe I'll just incorporate this into a longer video. And oh, I think I know what it is. And it's kind of a new thing. It's kind of not a new thing, but it's the new Melvins and Napalm Death album, Savage Imperial Death March, which I have on CD. They put out a kind of truncated version of this, I don't know, like last year. I need to stop that music. That's copyrighted music that I'm playing back there. But they re-released it on vinyl with additional songs, but this is a joint effort of Melvins with Napalm Death. And they were touring. I didn't go. I'm not sure why I didn't go. I think because there was a lot of other bands. I didn't feel like sitting through a whole bunch of bands and then going home at 1 a.m. on a work night, or as I call them, school nights. But it's also, this is also on colored vinyl, which I don't generally care about. But I don't remember what it was. Oh, it's just blue. It's just blue. Nothing wrong with that. I'm fine with that. Honestly, for queuing up records like on the radio, heavily colored, weird, marbled vinyl is difficult. Clear records are a pain in the ass. If you've ever done it, it's hard. Oh, that's right. It comes with a very cool booklet with designs by Mackie Osborne, Buzz's wife, who's a really acclaimed designer. Designed things like the Social Distortion logo, their little clown skeleton man. But yes, this is very cool. I like the graphic design and illustrations. Very cool. Yes, Melvin's Savage Imperial Death March. Pretty cool. Sounds like what you would imagine Napalm Death, late era Napalm Death and Melvins would sound like. Which I'm not sure who the Melvins are in this permutation. I think it's just Buzz Osborne and Dale Crover. I don't know if Steve McDonald's on this. Steve McDonald from Red Cross, who's currently their bass player. I don't know if he's on it. I don't think he is, because I think most of the bass is being played by Napalm Death's Shane Embury. Shane Embury put out a very cool solo record that's really weird, not under his name, but it escapes me at the moment. I have it. It's I played it on my shows multiple times, but yeah, this is cool. I'm happy to have it. The other 2 I'm really excited about. One of them is a record I've wanted for many years, but The original edition of their record is like unobtainium now. It's very expensive unless you want to buy a very beat up one. So, and I haven't run into it. And so I'm happy to get a reissue. I don't think they did anything weird to it. So I'll be happy to get that, and I'll tell you what that is when I get it. Hello. Another one of those showing off records I've bought recently. Hi, this is future tense editing Rich, and when I was watching this video and editing it, I realized to my horror that my hair just looked absolutely horrible. I just went for a walk and got really sweaty, and I was wearing a baseball hat, and then pulled the baseball hat off and decided what better perfect time to make a video. So my hair looks like I got attacked by somebody with a pair of hedge clippers or something. So just in case you're wondering or worrying about me, that's all that was going on. Carry on. Now I leave you to pass me. I've bought recently, and I think it's going to be like a major change to how I buy records, in that I'm going to not stop going to record stores, but stop doing just kind of like digging and finding records that, you know, non-targeted records that I want them, but they weren't records on a list of records I want. I think I'm going to start doing more targeted buying records I want online or in stores, who knows. But I have picked up quite a few records lately, some online and some in stores and estate sales, and more on that later. But one of the things I'm really excited about is a brand new single by Cabaret Voltaire. And by Cabaret Voltaire, I mean original members Stephen Malinder and Chris Watson, who has not been in Cabaret Voltaire for over 30 years. And they're touring, and they put up this single, which is Nag Nag Nag, which was recorded live just last October, and Spies in the Wires, which is not a Chris Watson era song, also recorded live at a different date. I cannot read it because it's really fine print, but this came with magazine, Electronic Sounds, with a really nice article, interview with Stephen Malinder. They're coming to my town, and I want to go. I don't want to go. It's a weird conflict with me. I am an old geezer. I don't like going to live shows horribly. The cat is here because of course he is. Hopefully he doesn't knock the camera over. Hi, buddy. You want to say your 2 cents here? I could pick him up, but he hates being picked up. He really hates it. That's Miko. I don't enjoy live shows as much. I know that sounds really terrible. I'm probably a boring human. I've seen many spectacularly mind-blowing live shows in my life, and at my age, shows are really late. They're inevitably, because Portland is considered a flyover town, shows typically are on a weeknight, as I call them, a school night. You were going to knock my camera over, aren't you? I'm going to get some tea and let the cat out. Come here. I'm back. Of course, now he's going to meow to be let in constantly, but that's fine. It's very springy here, and I have my screen door open, which he thinks he could just come in and out through the screen door, and he can't. But anyway, I'm conflicted because it is Cabaret Voltaire. It's 2 original members of Cabaret Voltaire. They're not performing music the way they performed it in 1979, 80. They're performing some of the stuff that's from the much later post Chris Watson era. If it was more experimental, I would be really excited to see the show, but it's very much a dance-driven kind of electronica show. I've seen scenes of it. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I may go, and I may let the fact that the tickets will probably sell out make my mind up for me, and then regret it for the rest of my life. But that's how it goes with me. But yes, but this is a cool single, and it was really reasonable to get. It came actually pretty quick considering I ordered it from the UK. I know months ago. It's on like cool, almost day glow green vinyl, which is cool. It was hard to get things from the UK or from Ireland. I had something actually get turned back by customs and couldn't get it. Got refunded. Ended up buying it locally somewhere. But yeah, Cabaret Voltaire, probably one of my favorite bands. I may not go see them live. Another thing, a couple weeks ago, I went to what might be the grossest estate sale ever. It was just really dirty. There was like a fish tank in the dining room that was like maybe a quarter full of green, ugly water, and it filled the whole house with this smell of like mildew and decay. And there were a lot of records there, and the selections of records were unusual. It was just, there was a lot of interesting, but not too interesting to buy. Like some jazz stuff, not the usual stuff you see in estate sale record piles. It's usually that easy listening Mantovani, Perry Como type stuff, but these were kind of unusual. And then there were a lot of, for some reason, hip hop singles. So I picture a aspiring DJ grandson living with his dying grandpa. But this intrigued me, and it's a record that was in a Westwood One generic sleeve. So I thought, ooh, radio transcription or radio program. And I didn't really realize at the time, but scrawled on it is the words Dr. Demento. And inside of it, it actually appears to be 2 complete Dr. Demento episodes from, 1988. I'm looking these up online where you can find show transcripts. So I either have a complete show from October 1988, or it's partial. It's like disc 1 and disc 2 of 2 separate October radio shows. That's what I think it is. Because the label sides don't quite jibe up. But it's one of those records where you have to pick the needle up and advance it to the next track. It has commercials. It has lots of Dr. Demento songs. I'm going to print run sheets for these. And I don't know, maybe I'll keep them. Maybe I'll sell this. These go for a lot of money. But as I said, I believe this is an incomplete set. I think it's 2 separate shows. And I would need 2 other discs for that. At that same estate sale, I found one of my favorite albums by one of my favorite artists, Bill Laswell, Basslines, which is his solo debut album. And I've had it digitally for a long time, but I've always wanted to own it. And this was the one that came out on Celluloid Records, which it contains a lot of people that were in the early incarnation of Material, so it's almost a Material album. But there's some neat, almost like experimental bass playing in it, like you would hear in early Material, like him playing harmonics. But it's Bill Laswell, Michael Beinhorn, Ronald Shannon Jackson is on this, who later would be in Last Exit with Bill Laswell, George Lewis, Ralph Carney, the wonderful Ralph Carney, the late great tin Huey and saxophone player for everybody, including the B-52s, who sadly passed away in Portland. Oh gosh, probably over 10 years ago now, tragically. Fred Frith is on this, of course. Daniel Ponce, Martin Beasy, who there's a name that you will see everywhere, producer, but also an early Material member and cohort. David Moss, who was in that fantastically weird jazz combo, Moss Hershey. Very cool percussionist, and Philip Wilson. But yeah, Bill Laswell, bass lines. Bill Laswell's not doing good. He has a GoFundMe to take care of his medical needs, which sadly, the more you read them, they sound like palliative care. I kind of fear that Bill Laswell is not long for this world, and I'm a huge fan. He opened up so many horizons for me in terms of music and world music and jazz and funk and punk and experimental music. One of my first ever solo radio shows was, it's kind of absurd and embarrassing now, but I did a 7-hour marathon of Bill Laswell and Laswell related music. And I feel like it just barely scratched the surface. And that was in, I don't know, the early 2000s. And he's done so much stuff, but not doing well. So maybe I'll put the link to the GoFundMe in the comments, but that's sad. And then I had this record for a while. I don't remember where I bought it, and I just recently rediscovered it. I have over by my record player, I have a new bin of records to listen to downstairs. I bought King Crimson's Earthbound, and then I filed it away and promptly forgot about it. But this is the lineup of King Crimson that was Fripp and Lake, McDonald, Giles, and Seinfeld. No, actually, it's more than that. Who is it? But I believe this is the lineup just before he broke the band up for the first time. And I've always heard that the recording quality isn't great, so Fripp and the band were not happy with the quality of it, and his label wasn't happy with the quality of it. And I have to say, it doesn't sound great. It's not a great recording. It was recorded on a cassette in a mobile van, and a live show, and it doesn't sound great, but there are some epic jams on it and really worthwhile. I'm happy I have this. Gruen is really cool, as is the track Earthbound. So it's the Fripp, Collins, Burrell, Wallace lineup, and it's very cool. I enjoy this record so far. And then this record I bought by the late great Mark Stewart. Edit. And I bought it because my good friend and fellow DJ, Dr. Zom, played tracks on it on his radio show, and I have to have that. And so I found it. And one of the cool parts is the Lunatics are taking over the Asylum. And if you like Mark Stewart, of course, from the pop group, but later on in Mark Stewart Maffia, which just insane, like turntable, just mashup type craziness and dub experimental stuff. That track is like one of those. It's like something you'd hear in as the veneer of democracy starts to fade. Is that what it is? Because it has faded. But this is a great album. It's a double LP, but it's in reality, it's just the tracks are just stretched out over 4 sides, and they're loud and very bassy. Very cool. Oh, and I bought this, and I'm not sure why. Well, it's a different recording of Steve Reich, Music for 18 Musicians. It's a newer recording. I haven't even listened to this yet. I have the original that came out in the 70s, but I'm looking forward to listening to this one. It's a double LP. When was it recorded? I'll have to look at the liner notes, but as I said, it's a new interpretation of it. So I found that at my favorite used record store. I think during that same trip, I bought a copy of New Order's Everything's Gone Green, which is maybe my favorite New Order song of all time. Maybe the first thing I heard by them that really turned my head, and I just love that. And I've had the 7-inch Factory Records version, and I thought it just has inferior sound quality. It does not sound good. And so I thought, well, maybe the 12-inch will sound better. It's not great sounding. There's something about the recording this, or maybe the mastering of this, that is just not great. Does it sound good? Is there a CD edition that was remastered at some point that actually sounds good? I need to find out. I might have a New Order CD compilation that has this on it, but I was a little disappointed that it doesn't sound good. The B-side is Mesh, Cries and Whispers, but yeah, so this is from 1981. New Order, one of my favorite songs. And this is fantastic. This might be the first or second Cheater Slicks LP. Cheater Slicks were just a fantastic band. I think they're from Detroit. Where were they from? I saw them live at a wonderful, like a blowout of Estrus Records acts, Man or Astroman, and the Subsonics, and the Monomen, and then the Cheater Slicks, I believe. I don't remember if they're headlining, but they were last, and they were loud. Really loud. And the whole night was loud, but they just really seemed to want to blow the doors off the place. And it was fantastic. And they were also very noisy and very kind of down, considering all the other bands were kind of almost upbeat garage bands. Then you had the Monomen, which were just really high energy garage rock. And so I really like Cheater Slicks. They're really messed up sounding and sound kind of detuned and fantastic. And I want more of this. And I also like the wonderful Daniel Close cover. I like anything by him, but I need more Cheater Slicks in my life. So I was happy to get that. I may just fill my gaps in my collection of theirs. Oh, and then this is not a big deal. This is like one of those, I hate that, like there's like these bucket list records, or like to be a hipster, you have to have certain records. But I did find this at a huge vintage mall type store in kind of like inner southeast Portland called Memory Den, which is just gigantic sprawling booths of vintage stores. But I found this is a relatively new reissue of Can's Tago Mago, which is, I don't know if it's my favorite Can album, but it's the first Can album I ever heard, and then I bought it on CD, and I just love it. My favorite track has always been Oh Yeah, which is fantastic. I made my own wacky remix years ago, and I think I need to do it in higher quality, but I realized that at a certain point you could take Can's Tago Mago, play it forward, and then just start playing it backwards at a certain point, and it just sounds great. So turn the whole song into a palindrome. I got really obsessed with doing that when I first started doing, mucking around with doing digital stuff. It was just finding interesting songs and turning them into acoustic palindromes. So like have them either start backwards and then go to at a certain point and then start playing forwards, or vice versa. And then of course I just talked about this one, Melvins and Savage Imperial Death March, which I'm happy to have. And that was the surprise day. Oh, CDs too. I don't know why. One of those targeted, I need to buy things. I never had the first Billy Nair show CD. This never came out on vinyl as far as I know. This came out during the vinyl dark days when there were just not a lot of things on vinyl, but just, I love Billy Nair show. Really fun stuff. And this is the first one. And so I found that, and what I usually do when I buy a CD is I'll search out that Discogs dealer and find out, do they have anything else CD-wise so I can take advantage of free shipping. And I found this, and I'm so happy to have it. Old School Rap, the Sugar Hill story. And it's like 3 discs of like, I think it's nearly everything that came out on Sugar Hill Records. And it's fantastic. It's a little beat up, but fantastic. I love this stuff. Sugar Hill stuff is just amazing. It even has radio advertisements on it. So this is cool. I did not even know this existed, and I'm happy to have it. I really dig Sugar Hill stuff. I think I have a nowhere near this in depth, like a single CD that is like the Sugar Hill story, like probably a condensed version of this. So yeah, that's it. Again, meeting to do more videos. I probably will do more videos. But they're going to be less of, I found this in a thrift store, I found this in a junk store, because I'm just going to do more focused buying records I really want, instead of doing the cornball crate digger thing and find these, finds of opportunity. I have way too many records like that. I need to probably stop for a while. So that's it for me. Chai tea. Perfect. I'm recovering from a had that cold from hell that just wouldn't go away. And then I finally recovered. And then foolishly, I scheduled to have a wisdom tooth yanked out of my head. And it's an upper, like upper tooth. And those are always nasty. And so I felt really shitty for a long time. And still do, kind of a little bit of swelling. But now I have like just sinus symptoms. So I don't know. It's either allergies, I'm getting another cold. But they say it's really common when you have upper teeth worked on or extracted that you will have sinus problems, like just minor, it's almost like sympathetic sinus problems because they're connected. It's in your skull, so I feel like crap today. I was gonna go out and do First Friday stuff and I just decided I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay home and recover. So that's my life. Anyway. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. And more importantly, I hope Miko liked it. Sayonara.